It's Lil Baby.
Welcome to Conversations with Chai at Befikre. Today I have with me, we're going to have a bunch of people in here, but starting off, we have Vinny and Sruthi. You guys are both choreographers for the event, and you're also a host of this event. Talk to me. So what are y'all doing? Like, what kind of dances are y'all doing? First of all, let's start there.
Yeah, I'm happy to go first. My name's Shruthi. I'm doing a South Indian set with my friend Soumya. Both of us are co-choreographing it, and it's really showcasing a variety of South Indian dance styles, South Indian music. So we're covering Tamil music, Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada, like really tried to pack in as much as possible and make it authentic to our culture. So the dance genre itself is a mix between kuttu, mas, and fusion, which is a style that I teach here in New York as well for the past year. So yeah, it's really exciting to be able to showcase this part of our culture.
Cool.
Yeah, so I do mostly femme and like jazz funk. Jazz funk is like my Western style. I do semi-classical as well, but probably not the occasion for that. So I really wanted, my whole point of class is to get people to empower themselves. So I loved being able to highlight like my dancers in this piece. So the whole point of that was, giving them something powerful, something feminine. And what I love about choreographing sets versus classes, for the end videos of class, I have to be in the center. For sets, it's all about the people that are dancing with me. So I think this is such a great opportunity to highlight the talent that is New York City. Yes, choreography is important, it's the muse, but it's the dancers that really are outlines.
I'm so glad that you said that, because a big part of like what I thought was cool about this event is that like a lot of like the obviously hosts are choreographers within New York that have had classes and consistently have classes, but it's cool that like the entire lineup is essentially highlighting so many different dance styles, but also so many different people, artists. What does that kind of like mean for y'all in terms of like highlighting like the dance culture in New York? Because there is such a choreographer culture in New York, and it's like the first event of its kind where it is truly hosted by choreographers.
Well, I think there's also very few opportunities for us to do live performances, and I think a lot of us grew up with a love for performing and being able to showcase our passions with a wider audience. So I think for a lot of people in this community, including the choreographers and everyone in our sets, a big draw for doing this event was being able to showcase that aspect of our love for performance versus just dance itself with a wider audience. I think this event is really,
I agree. I think mostly now it's become like end of class videos has been our scapegoat for stage, because we don't get stage after COVID. I feel like stage opportunities kind of just diminish. And as a full-time dancer, I'm always looking for opportunities to go on stage. So I guess being able to have said that we've created our own for that is just honestly amazing. I think it's so many dancers that have kind of grown up in the New York space over the last 2 or 3 years haven't had that stage opportunity in a long time. So I think it's such a good training experience as well for people that are so used to just taking classes. Here's your opportunity. Stage is such a showcase.
It's like a completely different thing than doing obviously a video at the end of class, right? You have a live audience, and you feel, I'm sure any other performer, right? You feel off of that energy, right?
Absolutely.
And this is going to be based off of I'm sure the music, the dance, right? You can truly feed off of a very, very diverse New York crowd that came specifically for this. Outside of y'all own performances, are there any performances, DJs that you guys are excited to kind of see today?
Wow. Yeah, everything was so cool during tech. I was amazed.
I was just watching all the dancers, so I'm excited to see everybody. I think it's we're all so busy that we rarely, when we take each other's classes, but it's such a rare occurrence. So to see not just the choreographers' pieces, but to see the dancers in every set come together. There's dancers that are doing more than one set, which is incredible and exhausting, and they're killing it. And then I think DJs are just kind of our party vibe, where we can just all come together as a community.
Yeah, and to also see, I think, an event where there's a fusion of so many of the different segments of the New York dance scene coming together in one is really beautiful. I think especially as someone who's been doing a lot of the South Indian styles within New York, I think just finding a home for it here in New York and being able to elevate it in a platform like this and a stage like this today is super exciting. Also with a stage full of South Indian dancers in our set, so I'm excited to see kind of that blend together with all the other people that we admire within the community.
Right.
I think it's so cool because you guys are truly fans of each other, right? You guys support each other across the community, across the different styles. I know y'all have to absolutely run, so appreciate y'all taking the time, and we will absolutely chat later. Thank you guys.
You.
So, We still have Befikre. Yo, we have Pod alumni, DJ Opresh. We got DJ Thomas with us.
What's up? What's up?
Yo, so obviously like this is like a very like cultural like festival, like the way that it's being like described, right? Like it's a very cultural festival, and they brought in like the DJs to essentially add. I was talking to Vinny earlier. They were like, "Yo, we wanted to have like a fun environment for the entire thing, right? Like obviously showcasing the dance talent here, but also making sure that the guests like have fun." For y'all, what does this kind of event like kind of mean, right? Because y'all are both like people that are booked and busy, right? So choosing and deciding to do this, like what kind of like factors into that decision?
Yeah. Well, as being a somewhat recently new New York DJ, wanted to share some of what I love about music and combining that South Asian culture and Punjabi music, Bollywood music, and bringing it to the people that vibe with it the most, which is really why I wanted to take this opportunity so badly. I mean, what better audience can you ask for than South Asian creators who are in the same space and vibe with the same type of energy?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's like, if you think about it, this is like the creme de la creme of entertainment South Asians in New York City. It's like, this is the event that you want to be at. This is what you want to be seen at. You want to go support anybody who's doing things in the entertainment space in New York with South Asians. It's like here today. So just to be a part of that, I think is a huge honor.
I think there's such a interesting dynamic between the DJs and dancers, and there has been since like the DDN circuit, right? And we've kind of like brought it into like New York now, right? Because a lot of like the mixes that come from our DJs, like they're the ones that are kind of popularizing it in that sense, right? And vice versa. There is like an interesting like relationship. Do y'all kind of like notice that too, and like the mixes that y'all make, and like even like the relationships that y'all have with the New York City dance community and the dance community as like a whole?
Yeah, and I think it goes even deeper than that, because I know, at least personally, along with a lot of the other DJs here and across the states, most of us got our start in DDN, starting out mixing for teams, developing those relationships, building those mixes, and that's where we kind of started to build that passion, build that love, and build the growth, really.
Yeah, I think DJs and dance teams are like this. Like really, like you guys come up together. A lot of mixes end up going to dance teams. It's like kind of how you spread your name as a DJ too. So it's like a very symbiotic relationship, and it's like happy to support like that kind of development.
I love seeing the fact that it's like grown past what you're talking about, right? Because I know so many like Shrimix, right? Like they're all DDN circuit DJs, but now like we get to continue that like bigger than that, right? Because like in terms of like popularizing the mix, right? Like because I always think about like from like a music perspective, it is such an audio and visual environment, right? And outside of like obviously what DJs are doing with like their own Instagram and social clips, having like a visual tied to like a dancer is so good for the actual music too, right? Because then when somebody goes to see, hey, I want to see Vinny dance, or I want to see Karishma dance, it's like, oh, what is this mix under this, right? And then they get to look into like the actual music behind it all, right? Have y'all noticed that in terms of like any of y'all mixes like getting used by the community?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Some of the most viral mixes, I think, for any of us really are the ones that kind of catch on. Somebody makes a choreography too, and it starts to blow up off of that. And for me personally, I love, one of my favorite things is when I see a mix that somebody starts to use and create more with, and that just like makes me so happy and inspires me so much more to do more mixes.
Yeah, I'm glad you called out the visual thing. Like before, the only way you could have visual content was having a dance team, like dance to your mix back in the day. Now with social media, it's like we could be the content too, but even like every early mix that I've had, like it was like, man, I really hope a dancer like picks this up and starts dancing with it. And then luckily, like some of our first few mixes that happened, and that really propelled a lot of our success too. So like I owe the dance community a lot of like of our success. 100%.
No, like the relationship building there, and like it's good for both, right? Like when they have fire mixes to like go, because it is a true symbiotic relationship, right? Like as good as like the mixes, it's good for them because it's like, oh, like we can take a larger flip on this, and then for y'all, it's obviously like what we discussed. And I think like I'm like curious to see that go forward, especially in like the South Asian community, because we've seen all of the South Asian viral songs. It's all now, especially with like TikTok choreographies and other ways of pushing it. Like we will continue to see that like going forward. Y'all have any surprises for y'all sets today?
I think we both got a few more.
I think, a couple of
Got a couple
mixes
bangers.
coming up. Gotta throw a little couple surprise in there.
I don't even know if we got it on film, but I like asked so far. I was like, yo, is this mix getting played, right? Because like there's certain, but again, like back to like the mixes being so like virally like like relevant.
Yeah.
Like I haven't even heard the mix that I asked Omar about like live, right? But it was like something I was just like, yo, I need to hear that, right? And it really goes to show like how the music has now become like larger than life itself. Yo, I think we're running through, but yo, appreciate y'all taking the time. Like, I cannot wait to see
Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it.
Back at Befikre Conversation with Chai, we got like the actual like showrunners here. We got Tushita, Sachi, and Karishma. Yo, I want to start because we're like running short on time, but I want to start with like first of all, like what is like the inspiration for having an event like this? Everyone that's come up, I was like, yo, this is a pretty unique event. Like I don't think I've ever heard of anybody doing a full like dance, DJs, like that kind of event hasn't been done in New York since I've been here, right? So talk to me, like what is the inception point for this?
All Tush.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, like it's been a long time since, you know, we've been in New York, we've been doing our thing. As you know, like the dance community has really just exploded over like the past year or two. And I feel like the space that we have is really niche, and not that many other people like in the artist community especially like know what goes on in like the workshops that we teach, right? They just know people dance together for 2 hours. They see the social media stories about it, like, you know, the next day. But no one really knows what like goes behind the scenes, the time and effort it really takes to like create a choreography to, you know, build a community like this. So, you know, honestly, like it's amazing to see the South Asian event scene also be popping off. So it was just kind of like an idea of like, all right, how can we showcase what's happening within those 2 hours to the community outside who are like completely like unknown to what's going on. So that's kind of like how it started, and you know, just with the help of so many like talented, hardworking creatives, and also like my best friends. Like, you know, I just pitched the idea to them one day, and they were like, hell yeah, let's do it. So, yeah.
I also think it's super exciting to see like, so everyone involved in this event, from the person outside doing tickets down to the organizers, we're all New York natives, and we're all New York native creatives in some way. And so I think this is really a testament to the amount of talent that exists here, the amount of professional talent, and the amount that exists within the entertainment industry in this city.
Yeah.
And so it's honestly quite refreshing to have like everyone be a local. No one's flown out for this event. Everyone calls this place home. And it's really about bringing our community together. It's like built by New Yorkers for New Yorkers, like through and through for this local community.
Yeah, I love the fact that you use the word like showcase, right? Because when I was talking to some of the other dancers, right? Like obviously like performing live as a performer is such a unique aspect of this, right? And it's like you guys get to obviously like do your classes, right, and then have like a video element to it, but there's nothing like feeding off of like a live crowd, right? Like the DJs get to do it all the time, right? So like y'all being able to create something for y'all community, right, like the dance community, to have that same experience, right? Because it is, you can tell, right, like in terms of like the costume, right, in terms of like makeup, it's like, yo, everybody up and down, like they're all excited to do this too. Like talk about that a little bit, right? Like what does it mean to like perform like live in front of your audience?
I mean, so for a lot of us, I feel like after a lot of us were involved in dance communities in college, and this is pretty much the first time, quote unquote, in our adult lives that we've really been able to experience that. Doing that with our best friends, with people who we see pretty much a few times a week, dancing and really sharing this passion together is a whole other level. I mean, especially after COVID, I feel like the landscape changed, right? So we became more comfortable dancing for a camera, which I had never done before, but I started personally becoming like so comfortable dancing in front of a camera that I forgot the thrill of dancing for a real audience and really like feeding off of their energy. So I think that's what the vibe is for all of the performers here.
No, I think as like a audience member, right, I'm so excited because everybody up and down is so excited to put on a show, right? It's like to put on a show, because like we were talking about it earlier with like Fresh, and it's like a lot of like the dancers that come from like DDN circuits where like they come from a history of being able to perform live, and like Sachi was saying, like after college, like where is that opportunity anymore to truly exhibit that, right? Like, and this is the first time for a lot of these dancers that get that opportunity, right? Talk to me real quick because I'm running running out of time. Like, which sets are you guys doing? Which are y'all doing one together? Like, talk to me. What's everyone's performances?
Yeah, you wanna go first, Trish?
Sure, yeah. So my set is mostly like Bhangra fusion, which is like my primary style. So it's like very heavy in Bhangra, and I add a little bit of like, you know, Bollywood hip hop elements to it. But it's just like very high energy, a lot of jumping, a lot of, you know, moving around. So yeah, I'm very excited. I haven't like put together like a Bhangra set since like college probably. So very excited to, you know, show the audience what we have to bring.
Absolutely.
And I am doing sort of a street jazz, hip hop focused set. I think it's like very common for like hip hop or street dancing to be like the dancing of social media, but once you put it onto stage, that energy is just infectious. So I'm really, really excited to like interact with an audience in that way to music that we all love. And Sachi here is a two-sets.
So I'm in Karishma's set for street jazz, and then I'm also in Vinita Hazar's set. So she's doing a lot of jazz, contemporary kind of elements. So yeah, I'm extremely excited to be part of both. I'm excited to perform not only once but twice, so I get double the fun today. Yeah, I just can't wait to perform live.
Yeah, real quick though, like as choreographers, it's a completely different element, right? Like you're choreographing like sets, right? Like, and as a choreographer, it's like it's a new, not a new challenge, but it's a challenge that y'all haven't had to face in a while, right? And it's like being able to do that, I'm sure, in your craft is the reward, right? Like being able to do that. Appreciate y'all putting this together. Appreciate y'all for this event. Super
you for
excited.
being here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Super excited to see it, y'all. Thank y'all. Peace.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.